morning, folks. So, in the lore of Justin, where was I at? The juvenile detention center, going off to what was called Cheltenham or Boys Village for what was major turning point for me in my early teen years of running around just doing whatever I wanted to do, to finally having the authorities slow me down. And I see now that it was a critical point for me. Had I not made the choice to try to take responsibility for the things I was doing wrong and go before the judge, I don't know that I'd still be here, because the opportunity for me to indulge in substances, crack cocaine, heroin, just a life that could have ended me, a lifestyle that was right there. I was living in that environment at 15 and 16 years old, left home, but and trying to avoid that potential future. You know, I knew about heroin addiction. My father was an addict, and I had come to the understanding of his addiction by this point. And so I didn't want to start experimenting with heroin once that was presented to me. And so the fear that was the life that I was leading led me to go turn myself in. And now at 16 years old, they cut off my hair and put me in a uniform and put me in a cell. And eventually, because I was, I guess, scared, I behaved myself and just kind of kept to myself. And they wound up sending me out to upstate Maryland, an area called Savage Mountain, I believe. But this is where a lot of young men at that point were being sent off for the correctional facilities and these boot camps. And so I wound up out at this camp where, upon arrival, they basically told us that you can run if you want to. There's no fences, there's no chains, but the black bears and the rattlesnakes and just the isolation of these city kids out in the middle of the wilderness of the Maryland mountains, good luck. But I took to it pretty easily. I decided that I was just going to play the game and keep my nose down and try to get everything fixed up well. And fortunately enough, while out there, I was partnered with a therapist or a counselor that was a raver. He was a young man that gave me a healthy perspective. And the kitchen staff, these older women, were kind enough to let me sneak in for cookies and stuff between doing laundry detail. And I got my diploma from the Department of Corrections. Spent my 17th birthday in these boot camps, and probably was the largest turning point for me in developing into the person that I am now at that point. Truth and love.